They're homes in San Diego's most upscale neighborhoods, but they have a haunting past. They're also known for high-profile murders, cults, and mysterious accidents.
Our ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco has a look at how a property's violent past lives on long after the crime scene is cleared.
The home looks like any other in this Fallbrook neighborhood, but if the walls inside could talk, they'd reveal unimaginable tragedy.
The McStay property is really a mess because sadly 4 people died.
A jury sentenced Chase Merritt to the death penalty for the murders of Joseph and Summer McStay and their 2 young sons. He was convicted of killing the family with a sledgehammer and then burying their bodies in a shallow desert grave back in 2010. Merritt and Joseph McStay were once business associates.
Anytime children are involved in a crime, that really turns up the dial when it comes to the residual stigma on the property.
Dr. Randall Bell is a real estate damage economist with Landmark Research Group. As an international appraiser, he studies properties that have been damaged or destroyed due to nature or something far more sinister.
It can be environmental damage, geotechnical, landslides, and of course crime scenes come up all the time, and that, creates a lot of interest.
Another home that generates a lot of interest is the Spreckels Mansion in Coronado.
All the notoriety and the lawsuits later, and the retrial is a civil trial, and so you could never get it out of the press.
Scott Arick first sold the home to Jonah Shacknai back in 2007. In 2011, Shacknai's 6-year-old son Max fell from the second-story banister. Shacknai's girlfriend, Rebecca Zahau, was watching the boy at the time. Max died a few days later. Zahau was found bound, gagged, and hanging naked from a balcony. The medical examiner ruled Max's death an accident and Zahau's a suicide, but her family has always maintained that she was murdered. Jonah Shacknai's brother, Adam Shacknai, was found liable for her death in a civil suit. Arick just sold the home again in March for $11 million, roughly 35% below market value.
Part of the reason that it didn't sell for more because of people's concerns with, whether it was a murder or suicide, it's kind of to be determined.
Farther north, San Diego County is home to another notorious property, the so-called Escondido bomb factory. And it turned out to be a problem so big, so dangerous, the sheriff's department conducted a remote-controlled burn of the house. George Jacobic is serving a 30-year prison sentence. Investigators say his rental was home to the largest cache of homemade explosives in a single spot in the country. Today, the property is a concrete slab with no trespassing signs. It's unclear what the owner plans to do with it.
Even though the house is gone, there can be still a stigma there, even though that was 10 years ago. It can linger.
It's been nearly 3 decades since a La Jolla socialite named Betty Broderick killed her ex-husband and his new wife while they slept. The Marston Hills home has been the focus of a book and a movie. Bell has tracked multiple sales of the home since the murders. He says it has struggled to keep up with market value.
I'm often asked which is the most bizarre case, and I think it comes back to Heaven's Gate.
A Rancho Santa Fe mansion was the scene of the Heaven's Gate cult and the largest mass suicide on U.S. soil. 39 members of the cult drank a lethal cocktail over a span of 3 days back in 1997. Ultimately, neighbors pitched in to buy the home and tear it down. Even the street was renamed.
I've never seen a more thorough job done in terms of demolishing everything.
But no matter how many wrecking balls are used, the stigma still stands.
My advice is to always tell the truth.
Solid advice from the man known as the master of disaster. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.